Well, I broke it. Darn. So I have to go fix it. So here we go. I'm off to Hobby Lobby and we're gonna fix it. And this is what it is. Check this out. So here I am, Hobby Lobby. Let's go in there, play with some stuff, see how I can fix it. Just a little detour. I love dried flowers. So pretty. Paint brushes. Check. Beads. Check. Bracelet beads. No check. Paint. Check. Glitter. Check. Glue. Double check. Sour Patch. Yum. Check. So my total spend at Hobby Lobby today was a whopping $84.55. That is insanity. However, I did buy everything I need to repair this beautiful cake stand, and then I got me some more beads so I can start my jewelry making again and do some DIYs on jewelry making because it's fun. That's it. Talk to you soon. Glory, glory, mercy. All right, I'm back from Hobby Lobby and I picked up the items that I need to do the repairs on this item. That I'm going to show you what items I got to repair with, and then how I'm going to do it is going to be just a step-by-step. Hang out with me. This is my Saturday night. This is your Wednesday night. And anyway, without wasting any more time, let's just get into this. So this is actually the top of the cake stand here on the underside here. It does have these cute little kitty cats that dangle. And as you can see, the pumpkin has broken completely off of the base. And so I'm going to repair the pumpkin, which is shattered. And then I'm going to show you what things I'm going to use with it. So I'm just going to inspect this piece, see if there's any chips on this from the fall. What happened was I had it in a box. I was moving a rack out of the way and the box tumbled. So just one straight kaplunk, and there went my beautiful cake stand. And this is called I don't know without looking at the tag, so sorry. Anyway, I'll go over those things as I pull the pieces out, what this cake stand is, and how much it's actually selling for, what its original price was, and so forth. But anyways, so I'm going to set this down, and it does have like a pumpkin base. And a black kind of green stand that sits underneath the pumpkin. And so I needed green, I needed orange, I needed white, I needed black, and I needed red to repair this. So first, I'm going to use E6000. This has multiple uses. You can use this on fabric, you can use it on metal, you can use it on wood, you can use it on glass, ceramics, and much more. So that's E6000. So I'm going to be using this. And then I picked up just a value pack of brushes so I can use this for my painting. And I picked up the 4 colors that I'm needing. So this is Ceramcoat. That's what it is, Ceramcoat. So I got green. I got some black. got some white, and I got some orange. And that is the paints that I picked up that will cover the repair. And then I'm gonna be covering it with some glitter, and I got some orange and I got some green. And then I'm just gonna make it really unique and fancy. I picked up some beads, so I got some green, some orange, some white, some black, and then I got a little tube of red. And these are the items that I'm going to use to repair the cake dish. Before I get started on this, I also want to talk about a future DIY that I'm going to be doing. Something that I actually love to do is making jewelry with beads. It's really relaxing, and I just really enjoy doing this. I usually do them as a gift giveaway for my friends, as a friendship appreciation, but I'm actually going to make some jewelry now, and I'm going to be putting it in my store for sale. It's really hard to do because after I complete the bracelets, I actually fall in love with them and want to keep them all. But this time I'm not going to. I'm actually going to do some bracelets, and I'm going to put them in my eBay store. So it'll be my personal design. So I'll label those as such. And I have a big, huge tote of all kinds of beads. But I always, you know, every time like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or, you know, craft store has them on sale, I pick them up. And this time I got a couple of different pieces to add to the collection of beads that I already have. And let me just pull those out for you. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. So it kind of all starts with like a palette. Almost like if you're, you know, cooking a meal and you think about like what you want to eat for dinner and all the ingredients and such. That's kind of how I designed my bracelets. What started this bracelet here, I'm actually going to make it into a necklace and a bracelet that matches it. So this is what started it. They're really cute little tiny flower beads. And I'm going to be using this as a tassel that connects to the clasp. And then on the bracelet, I'll use it as a toggle. So it kind of brings the set in together. So those two pieces will be in it. This will be the pendant on the necklace. It almost reminds me of like a wishbone. And then I'm going to match that up with the yellow and the green. And then I'll probably add some, maybe this bead and maybe some wood beads. Kind of make it a little earthy. And so we'll see how that one comes out. This will be a DIY for another video. But on that note, I also picked up some more turquoise beads, and I will be, oh, and then on the ones that I showed you, I picked up some toggles, which are kind of like the rust color. So I'll be using these both on the turquoise and on the green and yellow. For this bracelet coming, and also for this next one that I'm going to show you. This one I'm going to be doing the same blend of these two beads. And then I have some others that are in the tote that are turquoise that will make it even more eccentric and fun. But I picked up some of these. And I picked up this heart pendant. Just thought that will kind of fit into the store that I already have pre-existing with some of the jewelry. But how cute. And I'll be adding, again, these two to it. And like I said, for the turquoise one, I do have some more beads put away that I'm going to, you know, kind of build up on this and be really super cute. I can't wait to share this with you. But this is going to be in an upcoming video. So stick around, you know, with me. And then just when you see it, you'll actually enjoy it. It's something really fun. So this is just going to be like a hangout night. I'm not going to be showing anything that I'm listing. It's just a DIY today, where I'm going to be repairing the cake dish. And so there's much more details to come with this. So I'm going to break this out. I'm going to put all the pieces down on this desk here and spread them out, and then just kind of puzzle them together. So stick around. I'm going to start showing that in a minute, and we'll get started. Okay, I'll be right back. So these are the pieces that I am going to be gluing together. As you can see, it's quite the puzzle. The smaller pieces, the green base, the pumpkin. The little pieces here, I'm going to see which ones will fit into the, you know, the spots in between the connections. And if I need to crush them up and kind of create a powder and then paint over them, then that's what I'm going to do. And then again, the paints and the beads that and the glitter that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to let my phone charge for a minute, and then I'm going to come back and start my gluing process. I'm probably going to do like step by step, so I'll break it down into little pieces so that this video isn't so long and continuous. So the first two pieces that I'm going to glue together is the face, because that really is the simplest part. And so this is actually the head of the pumpkin, and as you can see, the corner of the smile is there, and then the eyeball will be the next piece after that. So that will be this here. And so I'm going to glue these three pieces together first, and then show you how that piece comes together, and just keep going until we get this thing all put together. And then we'll start doing our appliques with the paints and the glitters and the beads after. And like I said, I'm going to inspect the base. I do see that there's a crack right there, so I'm probably going to go ahead and cover this piece here with maybe some beads and stuff. If I have enough, I think I will, because that's black and I have a full tube. So we'll see how this all comes out. Hopefully it still looks as good as new. But the base here actually has the, so this is Department 56. Its original price was $85. I'm going to put some clips of some searches that I did on this, and they actually sell for quite a bit now. So that's kind of cool. I don't know that I'll resell this. I don't know that maybe somebody would or wouldn't buy this after it's been repaired, but it will look really cool. This is something that I love to do when I do have ceramics or vintage that breaks and I put them back together. I give them a whole new life so it doesn't go to the landfill and we still get to enjoy it. Anyway, stick around. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the first piece connected together. I first wanted to try out the glue and see how sticky it is, how fast it dries, and if it was going to work. So it seems to be a little slow drying, so I'm going to kind of let the glue sit on one side a little bit, let it get a little tacky before I apply the piece to it. But then I took some tape and I kind of secured it with tape so it won't, you know, lose its form together. And so here it is. I'm going to flip this around and show you how that came out. So here is the first piece that I glued together, and you can kind of see right there. Sorry for my bad manicure. I didn't want to paint my nails when I was going to be messing around with glue and then destroy them, so I'll give myself a manicure tomorrow. But that is the first piece, and as you can see, I just put a lot of tape on there to hold it together. So hopefully that sticks really nicely. And then I'm going to put the eyeball in next and see how it's going to hold. And then it seems like it's not going to take so long, but rather than sit with me during the drying process, I'm just going to go step by step with each piece and then show you its progress. So next is the eyeball. Be back. So I'm just applying the glue to one side, then I'm just tacking it, letting it get a little tacky before I stick it to the piece. So I'm just going to put some glue on it, just with my finger, just make sure that it's like kind of all the way through the ridge there. I'm not really too worried about it, you know, seaming over the edge, because again, I'll just take some goof off and then clean it up a little bit, but I'm going to be applying paint to this and glitter and beads, so it'll be thoroughly covered. So you really won't see the seams of where the cracks are. But so as you can tell, I just put the glue on it there, and I'm going to just set it in there after this glue dries just a little bit. I'm gonna get some tape ready now, and just kind of get that off my finger. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a couple of pieces of tape ready. I can tape it down. The first piece was a little tedious, so but it did work, so I'm happy about that. So one of the things, like I said in the beginning of the video, is preserving, you know, the landfills of getting all our broken ceramics and such, or china or whatever it is that breaks, and that we're just so heartbroken when it breaks. But we can replenish them. They might be usable for decor. They may not be usable for food unless you really put a good sealant on it so it doesn't get, you know, like I'm using glitter and stuff, so I really wouldn't want glitter in my cake. Though I like glitter, I just don't like the way it tastes. I don't think you would either. Anyway, so let's get this tacked in there. And just give it a, maybe blow on it a little bit, whatever it takes. But the other one didn't dry so quick, so I was kind of holding it while it was sticking. I imagine that would be a very long video for you guys. So it seems a little tacky now, so let's go ahead and see how that works. We're going to just gently set it in there and press down on it. Try to get it as even. Okay, so that one's sliding in there very nicely. Got it on one side. And I think I got it in there. Press down on it. Seems to be a little wonky right there. Puzzles, they're so much fun. So I have a seam there. This one seems to be just a little struggling. I get one side in and not the other, and it's probably because the way the first piece was set. But now I'm pressing it in so you can kind of get the gist of it there. Let me kind of go like this. Oopsie, where is it? So you can see the bead, the glue pressing in. So it is working perfectly, easily. No, not at all. But holding it for a minute, and then I'll get my next piece started. So I'm going to just get that to sit in and then put some tape on it and let it sit for a minute. first piece is holding nicely now, so I know it's working. Try not to cut myself. It's a little sharp. Okay, I think it's ready for some tape. Da 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 da. Let's tape it down. And then give it a good press. So I hope you guys are having a great evening. Time with your loved ones and family. Or by yourself, whichever way you are happiest. I see that this seam just isn't really lining up there. That'd be kind of fun to do stitches, you know. Maybe with some black paint. Since it is a Halloween piece, that would be kind of fun. Just to make it look like, you know, like it's got stitches. So yeah, that's holding. So let's go ahead and tape that one down there. And then we'll find its next piece, which will probably be something in here. And I'll match it up. Oh, I think I just cut myself, and I did. Ooh, see? Blood. Ah! Yikes. There, give it a good press. Another piece of tape. Blood, sweat, and tears, you guys. Blood, sweat, and tears. I definitely cried when this broke. It was so sad. It was one of my funner pieces that I've found. And now I'm bleeding over it. Alright, so I'm going to set that to there. Stop this video. Go get a Band-Aid. And then come back and do my next piece. Okay, got my Band-Aid. My boo-boo. This is the next piece. This is going to go right over here on that edge. And so it's coming along. So let's glue this one down and get it tacky. So what kind of DIYs have you done in your collection? Have you repaired any teacups, or has anything broke in your world that you felt really bad about and you didn't want to lose it, so maybe you still had the pieces? I know I had my grandmother's china teacups, and they were her prized joy, and she gave me those teacups, and I actually for decades have kept every single piece of those broken pieces, and one day I'll probably glue them back together. There was one teacup out of all of the pieces that did make it, so I always put that up with my teas, and I kind of display it. It's really cute. It has like blue bonnets on it. I really love it. It's really sad when we lose pieces, but if we can turn them into something fun, sometimes they make pendants out of china. They just kind of pick off the flower and make a pendant out of it, so you really don't lose the memory, because a lot of it's keepsakes. It's been passed down to you. I don't like throwing things like that away, so I've just held on to it. This one's actually coming together really nicely. Kind of just slid right in there, which tells me that everything's lining up. So I'm just going to press that down and then give that some tape and then find the next piece. So I'm just going to let it get tacky. this is pretty exciting. I've held on to this for a few months now. Been wanting to do a DIY. Just been really kind of busy trying to get the store back up and running. So if you guys haven't already visited my store, please go give it some views. Any little bit of attention to my store really helps me, even if you don't have the finances to buy anything. Just viewing the items trigger the algorithms, and the algorithms right now are punishing me because I had to put my store on vacation for a long period of time because of a move that I made, and it was really difficult to go back and forth. It was, my storage was about 45 minutes to an hour away. So every time something sold, I had to not only just drive down the freeway, but fuel prices in California are just outrageous. So if something sold for $15, I was probably spending at least that much going there and then getting the item and bringing it back and having it shipped out. So what I did was I downsized the store, and I have 8 totes now, and I brought them home. So that way, when those items do sell, I'll be able to pull them here and then ship them out, and I won't have to drive back and forth. And then I brought my store out of vacation. So that's really what I've been doing lately. So again, if you haven't visited, please don't hesitate to go say hello to me there. It's vintagehotties1.com. You can see that. You can put vintagehotties1.com or vintagehotties1 eBay, separating the word eBay. So it's spelled out VINTAGEHOTTIES and 1, not spelled out 1, but 1. So again, Vintage Hotties 1, and then separate word in your Google search eBay, and it'll take you right to my store, and then you can just click on that and see what I have listed. The pieces that I had listed, like I said, I downsized them, so I just kind of randomly went through them and just put various categories of vintage items in there, of what I had previous listed. I'm gonna play around with it, kick in the other rhythms, and then I'll add some more pieces to it, probably take things out and just switch back and forth. I am adding jewelry, and I am adding purses and some clothing pieces, like just unique clothing pieces, not really just everyday wear. So yeah, if you would just be so kind, and I'll put the link down below in the description so you can actually just click right from that link. But go visit, say hello, come back and tell me what you like. I'm working on everything. I'm editing constantly. I just kind of quickly put the jewelry and the purses in there. I'm going to be doing some photographs on those, and then I give the measurements and more details. Again, I just kind of crammed them in there so quickly so that I can get my store open. And but everything is going to be modified. I like giving full description of the items that I have listed. As you can see in the items that are the housewares, you'll see full description on those. The jewelry and the purses right now don't have full description yet, but they will. So this is what the underside looks like. You can see like right there how it has like a missing piece, which is probably one of these. So I don't know. I think I'm going to try to do this. It's getting a little tedious. Like I said, I might just crush them and then fill the voids and then see if that works. But it's coming together. So in my pumpkin face. So cute. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to set this down and look for my next move, which very well might be, if I'm not mistaken, try not to drop anything or cut myself. Let me set that down a second. So is this it? It looks like it's upside down. So this is the next piece. I'm going to prep this, and there you go. I'm making a full circle now. And yeah, so it's coming together. How exciting. Yay. Let me give this some glue. See how that works out. I have my tape. Let me go ahead and get some more, because this is a big piece. It's gonna need a lot of tape. So yeah, in the comments I'm gonna open up. Tell me about what DIYs you've done. If you have a store yourself, feel free to share your store in the description. I'm not biased to that at all. Tell everybody else about your store. Also, I'm going to visit your store. I think it's, you know, sharing is caring, and I'll share my space with you. I have no problem doing that. Some of the people that I admire and follow is Lavender Clothesline. I really like Lavender Clothesline. I really love Crazy Lamp Lady. I like the Niche Lady. I also like, what is her name? Oh dear God, I follow her all the time. I can't believe I'm having a brain fart, but then again, I'm not surprised. What is her name? Selena is her real name, and she is with Vintage Bombshell. Yeah, she is super cool. Vintage Bombshell. She loves Victorian era. She has a Victorian home from the 1800s, and she's doing her home to its, you know, bringing it to its original luster. She's done her fireplace. She's done her garden. She's just awesome lady. I really love her. Selena, she's had a really tough life, but she's relentless. She's gone out and does videos with her mom. It's really joyful. So yeah, Vintage Bombshell. If you could ever find her on YouTube, check her out. She's also on Instagram. Her videos are very creative and fun. Like, she really gets into it. She has a Halloween video, and that video, I mean, her imagination is just phenomenal. And her Christmas video, wow. Yeah, so if you get a chance to visit some of these people, I also like getting information about antiques and vintage. So there's a few people that I actually have taken some time to learn from. And so there's a few out there that do appraising. And Dr. Lori is one of them, and she's just a little firecracker, that Dr. Lori. If you do go and see her, give her a loving comment, because, you know, we have our trolls out there and they just love to troll on her, which is very unfair, because she has a lot of knowledge to share, and you'll, you know, probably hear her rant, and rightfully so, at them trolls who just like to just tell her things, you know, and it's really hard for her not to make comments on that. I totally understand it. You know, maybe one day people will stop, but if you do visit her, give her a very loving comment, because she's working really hard to educate us that are in this field on how to appraise items, what to shop for, what you might have in your own home that's of value. and stuff like that. So yeah, Crazy Lamp Lady, she's totally cool. She's out there every single day. She's on eBay and she does auctions. And so her auctions start at $4 and then people just bid on them, and then she'll show you how much she paid for it, how much it sold for. But she's diligently out there in the wild and just finding all these awesome pieces. She buys a lot of glass, a lot of Murano, a lot of paperweights. She's gone from doing mid-century modern to glassware to just about everything you could think about. She got her name because she actually did lamps to begin with, but you know, those are really hard to ship and hard to store. So she's ventured off and she's just amazing. Her inventory is huge and her following, all of these guys have a huge, huge following. And so maybe one day my following will be just as well. But there are a few others that I just don't have their name on the tip of my tongue right now that I do watch. So, you know, just get out there on YouTube and just like search resale thrifters. There's a lot of new ones coming out like me. And, you know, so yeah, lift each other up, share them, share your stuff in the comments. I have no problem doing that. And so yeah, so let's get this next piece tacked together and keep going. And this is the way it's going to go. So I'm going to tack this side, tape it down, and then I'll probably go ahead and get the gist of it done after I get this piece on there, and then come back to you and show you how it got, how it looks with the full face of the pumpkin done. And then we'll attempt together to get it on the stand. I don't know if I'll do the painting today. I'll probably make this a part 2 video. I don't really want to put the paint on it before the glue dries. So we'll step through this process. Again, it's just a DIY. And yeah, so I'll probably make this a 2-parter. I'll do this part first, and then I'll do another video maybe next week of how I'm going to paint it and then beat it up for you, because this would be probably a 3-hour video otherwise, and I don't think you guys want to stick around that long. So we'll just do this, and then I'll go ahead and finish up the piece and then show you what it looks like as a full circle, as a full pumpkin. Slide, slide, shift, shift, press it in there. So it's quite, the bigger pieces are a little bit hard to balance in there. Again, I don't want to cut myself, but gotta kind of try to see, get it slid in there. Oops, oopsie. That seems to be going there. Need to get it as close together as possible so that all the other pieces fit into it. So I think I got it there. So hold on to it for a minute. Let it get tacky together. It's beating up so you can see when it's kind of connected. Can I turn it around? See the beads there? So that means it's pressing in. So yay, we're getting there. Little uneven. quite the tedious project. Very tedious. Courageous of me to do it in a video, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of pieces of tape on there. There's that one. And I'll do another one right here. Kind of pinching it in from underneath right now. There we go. Yes, it's coming together nicely. I'm kind of super excited to see this as a cake stand again. It's been sitting in the shoebox forever. Maybe one more piece of tape here. Tack that down. Okay, that's done. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, come back, put the rest of it together, show you what it looks like, and keep going around, and then I'll show you it as one complete head. Okay, so I'll be back. Here's my pumpkin face. So I got it all glued together and taped down. It is drying. I'm going to work the small pieces in now and then glue the base on and then connect it to the cake plate. So I'll be right back. Oh, the tangle webs we weave when we're just striving to achieve. So we have this hole right here and we have these pieces left. Seems like a bigger hole than those pieces, and there's not much in that little baggie. I don't think anything's missing. I know I just scouted out these pieces really good. They didn't spread too far. Let's hope for the best. If not, then I will have to build it up. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I have glued together all of the major pieces. And as you can see, there is some gaps. I have some little spare pieces that I'm going to crush up. And I'll probably do a mix with some drywall paste and fill that in and smooth it out. This will probably end up being a 3-part video. I want to actually let this sit and dry really good before I go in and fill in those cracks. Anyhow, this is it for now. It is definitely a project, and I have never been known to give up on something. And I will finish this video and get back to you on its progress in my next DIY. Thank you for now. Talk to you soon. And again, feel free to share your experience with DIYs. And then if you are a reseller, feel free to share your information with others here in the comments. Again, this is Vintage Hotties 1 doing a DIY. Hi everybody. Okay, so this is part 1 of probably a part 3 DIY on repairing this cake plate here. I did the best that I could to get it glued back together, the bigger pieces. I do still have the tiny smaller pieces that I'm going to crush up, and then I'm gonna make a paste with some drywall and just try to mold those areas in there and then let that dry, and then I'm gonna come in and just give it a new paint job. And again, I'm gonna beat it up and put some glitter in there and just really make it look fantastic. So this is part 1 of possibly part 2, part 3 of this video. I'm going to end it here. So thank you for joining me in my journey. Thank you for following me and liking my videos. I really appreciate your company. It is so fabulous to be with you. and I look forward to my next videos. So please like, subscribe, and share. My fingers are all glued up. I got my boo-boo tape on, and I'm gonna go ahead and just call this a night, let it dry out, and if you would be so kind to, like I asked, just give this video a like, share with your friends, and just help get the word out. This is Barbara Pocious. I am fighting for illiteracy. So I need to grow my channel, get up there to the 100,000 views, and just build up myself as a reseller, as well as just a woman in business. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and blessings to you. Have a great evening, and see you again soon. Thank you for watching my video today. I will be back on Wednesday next week with part 2. And I just am enjoying this, so I'm glad you're with me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Until then, see you next week. Fighting the Fight for Illiteracy, Vintage Huddies 1.